Hi, I'm Rob Boyd, an English photographer from the UK. I decided to create this podcast series talking to international photographers whose work I truly love. I realised I knew nothing about these amazing people apart from their names and their stunning work. So I created a set of hopefully entertaining questions that finds out who they are and what they love.
Hi Trisha, so nice to meet you. So glad you're here.
Thank you, Rob. It's so lovely to be here. Nervously, but yes.
Yeah. So if you can start by your name and your Instagram name.
Yeah, Trisha Lyon O'Neill, and I have quite a few accounts. I have an art one called Run With It, and I've got a street photography one, Trisha Lyon O'Neill, and I've got a flower account, which is Trisha O'Neill Art, and that's the one linked to my website, to which I never use. But
what's your website address?
Oh, that's www.trishao'neillart.com. And I've got quite a bit of flower stuff on that. And I've also got some Humans of London, where I used to do interviews for street photography and send it on to Humans of London.
Good stuff. And where are you from?
Literally, I live in Enfield in London, Bushel Park.
Famous for the poltergeist.
Is it?
Yeah, the Enfield poltergeist. Oh, we won't talk about that later.
No, I didn't know about that, but yeah, we will. And originally I came from Edmonton, but I was born in Finsbury in Holloway Road.
If we went to shoot together, where will we go?
We would probably go Stoke Newington first, heading down Stoke Newington towards Dalston, Shoreditch, Brick Lane, and over into town. It's just that you see the most amazing and interesting people and some of the bizarre shops. They're just so diverse. So yeah, it's a feast for the eyes.
It's good to me. So I normally ask if there's anything for tourists, but you're London based. So
What's your favourite destination in the world? Where do you love the most?
I've only been twice, but it would be India. Fortunately, when I was there, I wasn't ever able to take photographs very well because I was with people that are not really photographers. So I left dying to go back and, wanted to do street photography in India for probably about 6 weeks on my own. Any photographers who want to come would be very welcome. But yeah, that's what I feel.
Anywhere else in the world you fancy going? So where would you like the most to go?
Yeah, I'd also like to go to, is it Angkor Wat, where the temples are, and all these trees are just growing over it, and I think like a building that's so decayed, but these trees are so massive, and I think that would be the most beautiful thing to see visually,
Yeah, I can visualise it now.
Oh, it would be amazing. And I think just the smell and the fact that it's just so far in, I believe, so it would be quite beautiful to see and photograph and stand in. And so, and New York, of course, I've never been. So I'd love to walk the streets of New York.
I went and it was didn't even think about photography back then, but you just see all the scenes and everything else. So you've got to go back again.
Yeah, that's what I feel. I feel like the only thing that draws me there, I think, is this photographing staircases and buildings. But beyond that, then the rest is a feast. Do you know? But that's the draw, the staircases. So,
Brilliant.
So
weird question then. So if you time travel, where and when would you travel back?
I would I would time travel back to when I was a child, to Belfast. I used to go to Belfast when I was a child. My dad's family lived in Ardoy, in the centre of the Troubles. So as children, we used to go to Ardoy for our summer holidays in the Troubles. In the Troubles. And obviously I've got very strong memories visually of images that I would have seen there. Graffiti on walls, murals about the IRA, and soldiers in my granny's garden,
Right.
Yeah.
And that was your holiday?
That was my holiday, yeah. So we'd go from the south, we'd go down to Kilkenny.
Yeah.
So my mum's family came from the back of beyond of Kilkenny. So we'd be up in nowhere, 3 miles from the nearest shop. And so we'd be berry picking and all that. And then the next minute we'd have our time there. And then we'd go up to Belfast on the train. And then we'd hit the streets of Belfast with, army everywhere. And it was the height of the Troubles. So the army would be everywhere, soldiers, guns. It was just,
Bonkers.
And I used to, when we first arrived and the Troubles did start, I went one time and my dad, I pointed, oh, look at this. And everyone in the car said, don't point. They shouted at me because it was dangerous. But we was in Belfast one of the nights the Troubles started, one of the very early starts of the Troubles. And my granny said to my dad, you have to go, you have to leave London, you have to leave because it was too dangerous to stay. So I went through the streets of Belfast that morning to get the boat and the pavements were all up and there was lids, round bin lids. They used to have the metal bins and the women would have been out that night banging them and the pavements were all up. And that's one of the scenes that I remember. So, yes, I would time travel back with a camera now.
That's amazing.
And it was, so visually, so my holidays were
not relaxing.
But we didn't know any different. That's the problem. You see, my dad wasn't frightened and my mum didn't seem to have too much problem. Although she was a very nervous woman, we were there and all my relatives, and it was just part of life. So I didn't feel any great fear.
Yeah.
And even when Granny came over one time, because the Troubles were so bad, that she was in London for 3 days and she said, I'm going home. She went back.
I can imagine.
She couldn't bear it. So, so I would time travel back to that time. So I think I wasn't exposed to people that were that fearful, if that makes sense, although it was horrific.
Yeah, it was everyday life.
They spent their lives at night on the floors and everything, with the rubber bullets. I mean, we had so many rubber bullets in our house.
Great.
So that's my time travel story.
Amazing. So if you can shoot anybody, as in take a photo of anyone in history, who would you shoot?
That's been challenging. And I always come back to, I think I would choose Picasso.
Yeah, choice.
Purely because he was a very complex and challenging man. And I would want to know if I could get a portrait of him with his difficulties, because I think he'd have absolutely zilch time for me or most people, because he was only ever interested in the people he was solely interested in. So I think you'd have to work so hard to get to him.
Yeah.
I think that would be interesting.
Yeah. Amazing. All right, this is the weird one. So what's your favourite word?
I haven't got a favourite word, but sometimes I would say to Dave, do you want a sandwich? Because I can't say...
I can't say sandwich.
So it's that's all I can think of. So I suppose that's my only odd word that I know that I actually feel true to myself to say.
But that's the reason for this question, is finding something that's first.
It's so personal. Do you want a sandwich? So that's kind of,
And then along the same lines, teach me a new saying or a word or something I don't know, obviously, from that.
The only thing I could think of is when my friends and I were younger and we used to sort of fancy all the guys, They used to walk past and we'd go, a bit of a stud muffin. So
See, that's perfect.
So that would be the word.
Yeah.
Do you know that word?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah, I wouldn't use it.
It's a bit of a stud muffin.
There's nothing that comes in my line of.
So yes, I can't teach you one, but that's one I can share.
Oh yeah, tell me a fun fact or a story.
I went classes for people who cannot sing.
Oh wow.
I was so desperate to want to sing.
Yeah.
To which he taught me everybody can sing.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter whether you've got.
Yeah. Well, you're tone deaf or whatever.
Tone deaf. Yeah. You don't know what a tune is. So I did that. And so when I'm at home, because I have a desire to be an opera singer, so I can sing so loud.
Yeah.
I can rock my socks.
Yeah.
but it's
It's
horrific.
flat.
It's
Awful.
so awful, but I love it. The fact that I can do it,
Yeah.
but it sounds so dreadful.
Yeah, or imagine putting headphones on, it might actually become then in tune. You never know.
Oh, no.
So when did you realise you could take a decent picture? When did it click for you? Excuse the pun.
When I was failing my art foundation course. And what saved my arse was my photography.
Oh, wow.
Because I was amongst students that had studied all the way through, I just put myself on an art foundation course
Right.
after discovering I was dyslexic. And I studied for a year, learnt how to read, and then decided to do an art foundation. Of course, I wasn't going to hold up. I just about scraped through, but it was photography that scraped me through.
But you love art, that's the thing.
I do, yeah. But I need to, I understand a lot more through art
Sure.
because I'm visual.
Yes.
And photography is quite technical. So for me, that's quite hard. So I have to learn things through art, then I can translate them into photography, and somehow it all amalgamates.
Excellent stuff. So this is the tricky one. So favourite 3 photos, why do you like them?
One photo literally goes back to when I was studying, and I happened to be standing in Covent Gardens, and I was really finding out about Henri Cartier-Bresson, and I hadn't known much at that, and it was like that definitive moment thing, and and all of a sudden this black guy was sweeping the floor, and I picked my camera up and I took a picture of him, but the model at the back had the same shape head as him.
Yeah.
And there was my first photo that was anywhere like a photo,
Yeah.
And I kind of thought, oh my God. So that is one that will always stand out to me as a little moment of connection.
The click moment.
The click moment, I suppose. Yeah. So that kind of stood out to me. And then I can't say I have a series of particular photos that are my favourite, but always the footballers. I love the footballers when that madness. And so I have one particular picture where it's smoky, 2 guys are in it, and it's just like a little scene of madness. And I love it, as I loved being around them and that energy and that passion. I know nothing about football, but it's just that, it's just the energy and the passion they bring to a place and the carnage.
Excellent. I love that.
And the last one is probably a very recent portrait I took, which probably means a lot to me, because I'd seen this fella on various occasions. He's never allowed me to photograph him. And one morning I was in Tottenham Court Road very, very early, and he happened to be there. And I only crossed the road to literally have a chat with him because I knew he'd never let me photograph him. And I was just chatting to him, and all of a sudden he went, do you want to see what's in my bag? And I went, I would love to see what's in your bag. And all of a sudden he produced this wig, and he put the wig on, and he just transformed. And just to see that process was so phenomenal for me. The only picture I put up is the one that's the only one that's any good. He moved all over the place.
Right.
Couldn't even get him in the frame. He was gone. He was hurdling himself around the place with this wig on.
Right.
I just wasn't prepared for any of that. And so everything I've got is probably quite rubbish, but that particular picture, I just happened to just about got it. I think it could be a tiny bit out of focus, but anyway, it's a moment. But it was that moment, and that moment, there was a point in that moment, as he put the wig on, he was very concerned about the fringe.
Right.
So I was there in the street trying to sort, and we were the picture at that point.
Yeah.
We were the picture. So that will always be a moment that I deeply remember. So those 3 pictures probably come to mind.
Perfect. So what advice would you give to a new photographer? Someone starting out?
A lot of new photographers, they get caught up in style. Your style is only as you process. It's a process. It's not something you arrive at, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't fully know. And I think when you are a creative of any description, I always believe that you are only ever at the end of something and the beginning of something else.
Yeah.
It's a never ending.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that you can never really pinpoint it to any particular degree,
Yeah.
because I think then you're making your world too small when you want to be this or you want to be that. Because I think that as a creative of any, whether it's photography or art or anything, you have to be open relentlessly to the possibility of change.
Excellent stuff. So finally, what you got coming forward? What you got going on? What do you want? What are your goals?
If I'm honest, I'm not fully sure yet, but I think I'm defining my own work now. So I'm only in the process of it now. So I'm concluding a lot of stuff of artwork that I've been working on, and I will be combining my probably photography with my art moving forward.
Yeah. Well, you know I love your work. I'm honoured to be Trishaerd. And thanks for being my guest.
Oh, thanks so much.